Volodymyr Kulyk is a head research fellow from the Institute of Political and Ethnic Studies at Ukraine's National Academy of Sciences. I asked him how Zelensky has galvanized the people of Ukraine.
The country is remarkably united, united against the Russian aggression and united behind their leadership. And it's not only Zelensky. Zelensky is just kind of frontman of that, but we see the state machine, we see the army, we see the Minister of Defense, we see the army headquarters, head of staff. So all of them are very popular with people. All of them are supported by a large majority of the population. I read one. There are few surveys, but I read about one survey where the rating of support for Zelensky was 91%, which is unbelievable. And in my social media activities, I've never seen a resolute critique or even half-resolute critique of whatever Zelensky or any other people in the leadership are doing. So it is an unbelievable unity for normally diverse and normally disagree in Ukraine.
And that support is also being reflected outside of the country. And the coordinated international response to Russia's invasion has been unprecedented. But what would you like to see happen next?
Ideally, all of us would like to see more resolute Russian Western military support. We would like, ideally, to see a no-fly zone, even if we are told that means direct confrontation between NATO and Russia. And we don't think it's a too high of a price for the West, because Ukraine is actually defending Europe and the whole world. If Ukraine is allowed to be defeated by Russia, then Russia will become a much stronger adversary for NATO, for the West. So a no-fly zone would, in our almost united opinion, and not too high a price for the West. But barring that, if the West still doesn't have the guts to do that, the West should provide more weapons to Ukraine, including fighter jets. And there is this nasty discussion, kind of process of kind of negotiation between the US and Eastern European countries, because the only fighter jets that Ukrainian fighters could start piloting right away, pilots could driving right away, are those of the former USSR, which some Eastern European countries, former communist countries, still possess. So at least those several dozen fighter jets would be necessary, and anti-air defense. That is a bare minimum of what Ukraine needs right away to be stronger, to be able to resist a stronger kind of counter Russian aggression.
What we've been seeing is a complete shake-up of Western countries' foreign policy. I mean, certainly when you think about Germany since World War II and the way they see things, Sweden, Switzerland, even Italy, they've seen a big shift in change since Russia's invasion. Do you think this is a change for good, and how long will it last?
We would hope it is a change for good. At least it is a change in assessments of Russia. I don't think anybody in the West, at least, will ever believe Russia is a friendly state or Russia is a not dangerous state. I'm afraid that after the war, the active phase of the war is over, gradually some business interests might still insist on having some business with Russia. At the moment it is unthinkable, but I don't know how much time the West would take to start thinking maybe it's time to get to some normality with Russia. But in terms of assessments of whether Russia is an adversary, whether Russia should be contained, I believe that at least in the near future, it is a permanent change.